Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Captain Kyle and Kelly in the house. So please, everybody, if you have a question for Captain, feel free to raise your hand, and at some point I will unmute your mic and you can ask your question to Captain. Otherwise, if you can't speak, go ahead and write your question underneath the comments on the wall underneath his picture. Everybody, please be careful who you listen to, who you follow, and what you're putting into your mind. The fog of war is here. I mean, it's been here, but it's even going to get more intense. So tighten your circle up, everybody. It's time to pick that side because it's going to get more confusing as we go into the summer and into the fall. So please, everybody, if your mind's not strong enough, stay out of those comment boxes, chats, what podcasts, whatever it is, because I'm telling you, even us, the ones that are out here, not that you guys aren't doing the work, but you're doing the work too, but out here like sitting in these different spaces like I do, or lives or whatever, just to kind of see what everybody's saying out there, the misinformation, disinformation. It gets a little kind of confusing. You got to step back, but it's going to get more intense. So please, everybody, be careful. Also, too, if you come in late to the podcast, everybody, you can follow the podcast on the podcast host or the social medias. We are being listened to in over 100 countries, so we are making some very good positive noise. And those podcast hosts are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, and Amazon Music. Social medias are Jenny Jareed Facebook, at J Jareed True Social, at J Jareed Rumble, at J Jareed Instagram, at Jenny_Jareed X, the Revival of America right here on Telegram, the Revival of America on YouTube, at the official J Jareed over on TikTok, which I really suck at. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try to do better, but yeah, I honestly just forget about that one. But and that's it. And then also too, everybody, if you have not yet signed up for the newsletter, please go over to the website at revivalofamerica.com. The newsletter is free. It gives you the latest updates on the podcast as well as the weekly show lineup. So please do that. You will get that weekly newsletter. We typically send them out early Monday morning. So hopefully when you open your email Monday, you will have it there. Juan was supposed to come on today after Captain at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. That may happen over the weekend. He is in DC as we speak, and he is very busy doing some things over there. So I will keep you posted on that date as well as SGN on. He was on a time crunch to get his move done yesterday. So we got him scheduled for next Wednesday at what is it? I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that will be 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, and also, two guys, we got some new guests coming on. Sheriff Max coming on. We've got a faith counselor from the White House that has reached out to me that wants to come on and do a show. So hopefully that's going to be August 4th. A lot of great things coming here in the future for the Revival of America, everybody. And please help me celebrate my 5th season and over 400 shows with the Revival of America. We went into the 5th season on July 17th. So that's a big accomplishment for me. I prayed for it for about a year before I launched it, and I did it on the 17th of July. So I'm very, very proud of that, and we are just going strong. The growth is rapidly happening, and I'm going to be getting a team behind me because, as many of you know, I do have a day gig and trying to keep up with both of them. I'm a one-man show right now, but we're going to be providing a team here soon. So I'll keep you posted on that. Also, to everybody, if you have a journey or a story to tell, please feel free to reach out to me at the submissions email, which is TROA submissions@yahoo.com. We will vet these stories because we do get, unfortunately, some fake stories in here. People just wanting to get on the show to be relevant. We will look through those and we will contact you. And then it's going to be you that tells your story because it's your voice that matters and it's going to help shape the new world that we're coming into. So with that, everybody, Captain is in the house, and Mr. Captain, let's do a mic check for you because I get, no offense to you, but a lot of people say they still can't hear you even with your new device on your chest. How are you,
You
by
know
the
what?
way?
I'm fine. And the deal is that they need to check their stuff because it works out good. I can hear it on it. I go back and listen to it. Sometimes you can't hear it on earbuds. Sometimes you can't hear it on this. What? I can't make it any better. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, you sound great on you sound great to me, and every time I go in and listen to it, and my techie friend says it's fine. So everybody that's complaining about the sound, you hear Kelly and I loud and clear, and you can't hear Captain. You gotta try to do something on your end, because I hear Captain fine, and every time I go back and I re-listen to it, I hear Captain fine. So okay, so we're good on the mic check, mic check. How are
Yeah,
you, Captain? How are we doing, Captain?
I'm doing good. Just busy as ever, always. Got up this morning, went play golf, and then I spent some time doing a little information gathering, and then here I am sitting down by the water. So
Well, good for you.
staying.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and how are you, Miss Kelly? How you doing, my friend? Are you there, Kelly? Kelly, Kelly, Kelly.
Yes, yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I did a recent update for Telegram, and then it was like, oh, you have to give permission for your microphone. So I just had to do that real quick. But
Oh
I'm
my
doing
goodness.
good. How are you?
I'm doing great, just staying busy. So I'm glad you guys are here because, Kelly, you and I sit in a lot of these X spaces together, and we hear a lot of the crud going on. And I was just telling the audience before you guys came in here that, we've been in the fog of war for a while, but I think it's going to get more intense as these days, weeks, months continue on into the fall and in the winter months. But Captain, we got a lot of great stuff going on. The stuff with Obama is breaking loose. We knew this was going to happen. It's a matter of time. What do you want to say to this? Because you have a lot of the people, i.e., CNN and all the stuff. The narrative, they've always switched the narrative, but here we go. It's even going to be more intense. They're saying that Trump is full of shit, saying that he's corrupt and all the stuff and faking the Russia gate. What do you want to say to the audience about all this stuff?
So the thing with all of this is really important to understand that how this is playing out is very intentional because what they are doing is they are manufacturing with intent on getting the confirmation from the public on what they want, just like the Epstein. Trump is going back and forth and doing things. This is all by design, on purpose, and it's to manufacture consent of the people that that's what they want. So when you hear these podcasters and different people that they say, and I've listened to several of them that say, where they'll actually say, because our voices were finally heard, that they're going to start releasing this information because we want transparency and so on and so forth, and that kind of so they're doing that on purpose, and it has absolutely nothing to do with them actually having their voices heard, other than the fact that that's a part of the process. But they're manufacturing the consent of the people, as the people are what's driving that. This is what they want, this is the information they want. Why? Because just like today, one of the reporters was asking that in that DNI meeting and with the White House meeting, that basically they ask if the Trump administration is weaponizing this information against his political opponents, meaning the DNC and Democrats and so on and so forth. And that's the whole thing is that it has to 100% appear that Trump, and this is by national security and by the military, that he cannot appear as he is going after them as a weaponization of the information to go after these people. It has to be something that's going by other means, meaning the other departments are pushing it, and then he discredits it. He plays around back and forth with it on purpose and causes the uprising of the people so that the people rise up saying that's what they want to hear, that's what they want to know, and so on and so forth. So it's like, okay, fine, this is what you want. I'll have them start to do that and they'll go forward with it. And it's all on purpose. It has to come from the people's desire. So when I say manufacturing consent, that's what he's doing. He's actually getting the consent of the people that that's what they want, and that's the reason it's coming out, not because he wants to. That's why he was dissing it. He was dissing it on purpose. And it's like right now with the Obama stuff, it's like he's going all in. He's telling people, because he's been saying this, all roads lead to Obama, so on and so forth. But it's about the information that's coming out from the departments that are saying this information, and that the deal is that there's the individual that's about to come out, okay, that his name is Kurt Weldon of Pennsylvania. He is a part or was a part of the Armed Services Committee, House Homeland Security Committee, and he is and knows about everything. 9/11, the whole scam of it, who was involved in it. He's got whistleblowers. His stuff is in everything. I mean, absolutely everything. And the deal is that he's about to come out. And when he comes out, the intelligence from CIA, FBI, every agency out there has his information all embedded all throughout their files of everything, because this is how well informed this individual actually is. And he's connected to Russia through the back channels of Russia, and so on and so forth. He is a person that is definitely 1000% in the know. And this is all coming to a head. It's all coming to a crash course on purpose, a collision. And the circumstances with this is that they all know how much he knows, and they are scared to death. And so what's going to happen is when he starts coming out, they're going to attack him. They're going to plant evidence in his computers. They're going to discredit him, even though his stuff is all in their information everywhere. And it goes all the way to Putin, back all the way into the 90s, and the CIA, the State Department, Uranium One, and where Russia actually lost, meaning they, on the black market, sold 200 nukes from back in the, like early 70s, late 60s nukes from when Russia fell. After Russia fell, all of this got into the black market. They ended up CIA buying a bunch of them and putting them in Iran. Okay. So he knows it all, and he has the goods on everybody. Putin knows that this happened as well. And the situation with that is that this was all really, really old technology. It was really old and degraded as far as the weapons, and that they basically have been pretty much kind of defunct because they needed to repair them, trying to fix them, trying to update the uranium in them, the hard water that is inside of them became unhardened anymore. They had all kinds of problems with these things, and that's what they were trying to fix and bring back into a repairable, usable state. And this is what we actually bombed in Iran, was these actually facilities where they were actually working to try to repair them and to hold them. So whenever we bombed them over there, we had white hats that were within those organizations that had been actually over time completely, they were sabotaging their abilities to actually fix them, use them, and to get them operational ever again. And so when they were given the heads up that these places were about to get blown up. They got everyone out of there, every single person. So no, there's been no confirmed deaths, not one, from any of these facilities, not a single one. Reason being is because everybody was evacuated and there were no deaths at all. Just their technology, some of the technologies of old technology that's not been um, exposed to the public that the deep state had was also there underground. That was really high tech stuff. They was all destroyed as well. And the way that they got all of the diagrams, have you seen some of the diagrams of that underground facility and stuff, is that they got all that from the white hats that were actually embedded within that system, because they were asking for help because they needed it to take all that stuff out completely. Putin was fully aware of where it was. He knew that that was there and that this happened, but it was out of his control. And so this is hindsight now on why we actually destroyed those facilities. The all of those bombs, everything has been taken completely off the board. Nobody, not a single death. And this guy is going to talk about all that stuff, and they are going to freak out because it's all going to lead back to the first Bush administration, that his CIA was in operational stuff in the early 90s, Clinton's, then Obama and Bush's Jr., they were all in it. And so all of this is going to tie back to all of them as well. And the situation with all of this is that everything that is being said about Obama is going to all fall back onto Obama's head. And the situation with what's happened is that, how do you think that the people that rioted for George Floyd are going to riot whenever Obama gets arrested? Because Obama is going to be arrested. This is going to happen. They are setting people up for them to be aware that this is inevitable. So hold on, people, because shit's about to go off the freaking hook.
I was waiting for you to get that one in there. So Captain, okay, so yeah, it's about to go off the hook. I agree. So do you foresee this like going in through the end of the summer to the fall and into the holidays? I'm being told that, the liberals, I call them libtards, are going to lose their minds when they're about to see what's coming. So people just kind of, tighten it up a little bit, pay attention. What are your thoughts on this?
So it's all starting now. Because see, the deal is that you got to see how much has actually happened in this last 6 months, okay? Because what's happening is we're trying to secure the abilities that mass war can happen, real war, and that mass civil war is not going to happen as well by a controlled release of the disclosure, because that's what's happening. If it was all done too quickly, people would break down, society would just fall apart, and there would be all kinds of mass chaos. You couldn't control everything. So it's being done in a measured way so it can all be controlled, just like today, and how that press conference, the world was watching what was said about the mainstream media and how they handled it, and that there is unrefutable evidence, not hearsay, not conjecture, but actual evidence that if you're going to report, this is what you need to report, and report factually. Oh, yeah. The people, even some in this room, had gotten Pulitzers for this. That was all bullshit.
And I was watching a clip, everybody, CNN, was showing Tulsi Gabbard talking, and right as she gets into the nitty gritty, the good stuff, they cut her off, and they're trying to spin the narrative as if this was made up and have they don't really have the proof. So again, everybody, you got to be careful. Like even Speaker Johnson, I was in an X space this morning, and just before he left, he gave 20 minutes of his time. He had said that the questions were great. I can't remember exactly what the question was, but he had mentioned to that room, and he said exactly this, everybody, what many of us have been saying for a long time. You sometimes have to show the people so this never happens again. So right there, everybody, he's even telling us what a lot of us have been spewing for a long time. So yeah, I agree with Captain. Buckle up, Buttercups, because things are about to shake, and I think they're going to rattle pretty hard.
So
Go ahead, Captain.
yeah, so this is all going to culminate over the next couple of months. It's going to really get bad next month, and I mean really bad. So September, between now and September, shit's going to be kind of off the hook. And the scenario is that this is all having to happen very quickly because it has to get behind us so that we can actually move forward with the new technologies, the new releases, the new financial system, all of this stuff that is being on hold because we're having to go through this process of disclosure on the non-weaponization of the office so that these individuals can be held accountable for the coup, because um it's not just the presidency, it's not just the Democrats, it's everybody, the military, the CIA, the FBI, all of them are information that's going to tie all back to all of this stuff and actually condemn them all that were parts of it, even the mainstream media that are going to be arrested through all of this. And this will lead us back into, again, Epstein. And also the next part, which is going to be again Diddy, because see, why do you think that they just fired Comey's daughter? Because she was over Maxwell. She was over all of these cases that now they have to be reinvestigated, and they will probably 99.9% be retried in a different manner so that the real facts, the real stuff that was being suppressed actually comes to light in it. So everything is about to just get turned upside down, inside out. And so everything that you thought you knew, you really don't. But there's going to be information, whistleblowers that are coming out in the next 6 months that are factual on everything, that has the receipts on everything. There's nothing that can stop what's coming. And that's where I was saying that this all has to happen relatively quickly so that the takedown of these individuals can happen, but it has to happen through the consent of the people, that's what they want, not just what they think they want, but they demand it. And people are going to demand it.
Oh, amen. Yes, they will. And real quickly, everybody, before this will be my last question to Captain, and then I'm going to start taking some hands, and then Kelly will read the questions on the back of the wall. Start raising your hands, everybody, because once I get to 550 participants, I can't see the hands raised. So start raising them. I'll unmute the mics. But Captain, you're talking about being tried in a different way. Would that be the military? Military is the only way, right? You think they'll be tried by the military?
Most of it will be, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Captain. I love it when you come out. I get all fired up back here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, everybody. We're going to start doing the questions. So let's see. We've got Donna Abend. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Captain your question. Go ahead, Donna. Also, everybody, Captain gives us 90 minutes of his time, so let's be mindful of that. If you guys request a mic, push the blue button in the middle of your screen. So go ahead, Donna. Your mic is unmuted. Okay, I got to move on, everybody. Okay, let's see who's next. Barb, is it Reinig? Is that how you say it? Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Reinig?
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on.
Okay,
I don't
well,
have any questions.
you don't have a question?
No, I don't. Thank you both.
Thank you. Okay, God wins again. Your turn. Do you have a question? God wins again. Do you have a question for Captain? Hit the blue button in the middle of your screen. All right, everybody, if you request a mic, please try to ask your question. Let's see, who's next? Greenie Girl, do you have a question for Captain?
Yes, I do. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating about Kurt Weldon. I'm kind of from that area in Pennsylvania that he's grew up in. And so I was looking at his bio real quick, and it looks like he did Russian studies at Westchester University. So I'm just surprised because I never really heard much about him recently. So thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna hear a lot about him before too much longer, because he's gonna pop the goods on all of this and stuff that people have never heard before. And the stuff he's gonna bring about 9/11, I mean, even to the point about the structural engineers that built the place, the design of it, the complete collusion of the conspiracy to take it down. I mean, the goods. And not only that, but he's going to talk about the 200 missing nukes from Russia, where they went, and that was where we bombed to take them all out. And the other parts of this is that they're going to come after him like they went after Trump to try to discredit him. They're going to plant stuff on him. He's going to lose his positions. I mean, he's going to lose everything, his titles and everything he's doing, but it's all part of it. But he's going to bring the goods.
Thank you, Captain. And if you guys didn't watch the interview with him and Tucker Carlson, you guys should go check it out. It was a great interview. Okay, let's see. Laura, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Laura. Your mic is unmuted. All right, Quantum Patriot, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
How you doing, Captain? I had a question about the timelines when we talk about the shift. I haven't really heard anybody talk about where people go when we do that shift, whether it's 4D, 5D. So if there's a group of people that are going to 4D, for example, what happens to the people that are in 3D? Do they pass away? Do they move away and we don't see them again? Can you explain, go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple. When we actually go into 5D, I mean, that is a frequency and a place that is already there. Okay. So is the actual new 4D area that is where it is. And when the shift actually happens, the full on shift where everybody that's going to 5D goes to 5D, and the people that don't go into the new 4D, and there is no 3D left here in this frequency area. So that will no longer exist. So the people that are either going on to 5D go into 5D, which is just a different frequency domain, and the people that go into 4D are going into a new 4D that doesn't have any of the evil influences and the false matrix governing it. That will die out with the old third 3D when the shift actually takes place.
So is it possible for my next door neighbor, for example, to be in 3D, but I could be in 4D or 5D and I see him every day and interact with him, but he's seeing his life in a different way than I'm seeing mine? Is that how it works?
So right now, people are basically in a variance of 3D and 4D depending on your frequency. You can actually even go into 5D, the real 5D, and not just a frequency shift of 5D intermittently, because the new 5D is completely different, and there will be no seeing back and forth when that actually happens. The people in 4D, they will go on to a complete new existence. They won't have any idea of what actually happened to them, where they were, none of it. It's like starting all over for them completely. Now, us in 5D will have complete recollection of it and understanding completely of the reasons behind the separation, where they went, everything, knowing it completely. And the good thing about it is that they will still, in that 4D space, will be able to still transcend into 5D at a later time, because that shift will happen again, possibly 2 to 3 more times over, a period of time. So it's not like people are lost, because they're not. They're just going to go to where they actually have really made their own decision on how they want to view things and what they accept and don't accept. Most people are going to go into the new 5D through this process that we're going through right now over the next, 6 months, 2 year period before it happens, because don't really know exactly when it's going to happen. My own personal opinion, that's all it is sometime between 27 and 30. And I've always thought it was going to be somewhere around in there, but I just don't really know. But that's just my own personal opinion. And everything that's leading us to that is preparing us for a life there, a life of service to other people, not a life of service to self, and having a complete different love for humanity and viewpoint on, you know, how we interact with people and how we interact with finances and money and all that kind of stuff is going to be those processes over the next couple years.
Did that answer your question, Quantum Patriot?
It sure did. Thank you very much, Captain. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. All right, Miss Beth, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
They're very happy to hear you again, Captain Kyle and Jenny and Kelly. Wondering, because we know that Trump doesn't say anything unless there's a reason for his words. And he was on the tarmac the other day with Lupnick and was mentioning August 1st and the tariffs coming through, and was saying that if you're an American citizen, there's payment that's going to be coming to you. Any ideas about what that might have been suggesting?
So actually what he said is that they're going to be payments, and the payments are going to start. That means that the the tariffs, actually the trade agreements that are going to initiate with all the countries that have been paused, no matter what, will start then. And then after that, that's whenever he asked the individual if he was a citizen. He said yes. And he said, you're going to like it because of what you're going to get financially, so to speak. But there has been no definition on when payments are going to start happening to people, when the financial changes are going to happen. But what's happening right now is the disclosure and the discovery of, like, the $21 trillion that just disappeared, the couple $1 trillion that the Department of Defense doesn't know where it is, and all these lost monies. That it's like, if we're having so much debt and that they've lost all this money, why would we have all this debt if we actually had all this money and it wasn't going to these illicit, illegal, unconstitutional black budget projects that don't exist but do, not for the benefit of the people or America, but actually to the few, then when we turn everything into these money making scenarios that the country was supposed to be founded on or continued on, which are actually tariffs, which is if you want to do business here, then this is the fee that you got to pay for our goods and services in our country. And so how much money that actually makes, and that we never would need to have taxes and all the stuff, that basically what's going to happen is it's going to show that people are going to be able to not pay taxes. This is the end goal in all of this, and to be able to be incredibly prosperous and wealthy as a country. And then the other countries around the world are going to want to use that same methodology on doing that in their own countries and bring us all into the same type of basic system, not the same, but the same type of system that's going to be formulated for their specific country. And that's all going to be a part of the new financial system, and how it levels the playing field all over the world. And so it's coming. And when it happens, or when it begins to happen, it will continue. Nothing's going to stop it. And so the ideas behind it are being put out there on purpose, so that the person, not us, because you know about it, I know about it, there's less than 1% of the people in the world that actually know that this is where we're headed and what's actually coming. And the rest of the world looks at things the way that the news and what the analysts and all these other idiots have been spinning it forever. And they're completely in the dark, just going about their business, paying bills, investing, and doing the same stuff that they've always done, and not been happy about it. But as it gets continuously put out there, like, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime and all that kind of stuff, that doesn't even do anything for me at all. I don't fit in any of those criteria, even though I work a buttload of overtime. I do all this stuff, but I don't fit within the financial criteria for that to actually apply to me. So it doesn't even work for me. None of it does. So I'm still happy, because it is the stepping stone for it to go away completely, and for it to be corrected for everybody's use down the road. This is what's happening.
Well, Captain,
Okay.
thank you for clarifying that, because I think that's been some confusion for people, because the clips that were being shown did not include when he was talking about the tariffs. So people just assumed he was saying that's when payments were to begin, but the tariffs actually begin coming in that day. So it would, be impossible for him to start distributing money that day. But no one knows dates, or, like Captain said, how it's going to happen. But it is going to happen. They're preparing people. I mean, we saw the White House put out a thing where there was all gold coins all over the whole White House. I mean, they're just trying to let people know it is going to happen. So
In the sound clip that was a part of that was saying 24 karat, which
yes,
is pure gold. You can't even
yes.
get 24 karat and stuff. The only way you can get 24 karat if it's an actual bar.
And did you see silver decoupled from gold and actually rose and gold did? And so that was interesting.
Yes. And so it's all happening, and it's happening in its stages, just like it needs to. And it's coming. And even Trump the other day put on his post about, it's important to win, but it's even more important to survive so that you can continue to win.
Amen. I like that. Did that answer your questions, Beth?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just hanging on by a thread. So I'm
Just
hoping
keep
something
on
will
hanging
work.
on. Just never give up. You're almost there. And,
Yeah.
and the thing is that, and this is what's hard to really grasp. No matter what you lose, okay, the gain that you're going to get down the road is going to be so much more massive that in years to come, you won't even care what you lost.
I
We're
know.
closer than, we're
I'm
hanging
just
in there,
having,
Beth. You're closer than ever.
I know. I'm 2 years and 4 months without good well water because we don't have a housing code and my landlord's not fixing anything. So I need
I
some
got a
way to get
note on
out
my
of here.
board today because of the construction that's going on in my subdivision that, I told you that they're redoing all the utilities and everything. They put a big old note on my door today telling me that I need to fill up bath water and I need to fill up air. They're shutting our water off for this utility cutover and stuff, but they don't say no time on when they're going to restore it.
Right.
So it could be days, it could be a week, who freaking knows? But when they tell you to fill up your bathtubs with water for essential needs, that is a little concerning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Captain. All right. BH Treasure, your mic is unmuted. And then Kelly, you can go ahead. I don't see any other hands. I don't know that I will. So it'll be all you, my friend. Go ahead, BH Treasure.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, for all you do and all the people that you have on your podcasts. And
Of
Captain
course.
Kyle, listen to you quite a bit. Two questions. The first one is, can you divulge your source of information, how you know all these things? Second question is the 3D, 4D, 5D. I'm not really understanding that. And is there scripture backed that you can give us that we're moving into these 3, 4, 5D scenarios?
So the scripture is talking about the rapture and being called up. And so that is actually a change in your actual frequency. And if you would actually read the Gospel of Thomas, you would understand that everything is not as it appears, and that it is about consciousness. It is about understanding things in a completely higher understanding, and that the physical is not what is actually real, but actually everything within its own frequency domain is actually physical within that realm. And so it's like if you had a radio station, you got a bunch of radio stations, but you're only tuned into one you're listening to. That happens to be the frequency that you're actually attuned to. And so this frequency that we're attuned to in 3D is actually that frequency, and that you can't see the other, even though they're there. But the understanding of it is that there's a lot of things that you can't see because we can only see and experience in a very, very minute amount. I mean, it's less than 1%, even of visible light. And the experience that we're going to have is just like Enoch, Elijah, neither one of them actually saw death, but were called up. Where were they called up to? A higher domain, a higher realm of frequency, because everything is frequency, energy, and vibration. Everything. Matter is not actually solid, it is actually particles that are in a vibrational state. They're not actually solid. It appears to be solid because by the way that they're grouped together, but they're not. Everything is moving and everything has its own frequency and vibration. Everything does. And so the scenario with that is that it's happening and you can go along with it. You don't necessarily have to believe any of it. It's okay because it's still going to happen. And whenever you start to experience these things more and more, they will make more sense to you. And most things is hard to grasp because it's about perception. And you can only understand what you can really truly perceive, and your perception is based on what you know, what you've seen, what you've experienced going through your life. And that's what it is. And how do I know these things? I do have people that tell me things, but then I also have the actual firsthand experience of things. And also spiritually, where I've been to 5D. I know it's a reality. I've been there many times. I'd like to stay there, but I cannot. It's not meant for me to physically stay there because it's not time yet. So I can't. So it's really difficult to even describe because this reality that we live in right now doesn't do it justice, because this is a false matrix. It's not the actual domain that we were supposed to be in. But this is, here nor there. Everything is not as it is perceived, but that's all we have until we actually are able to change our perception through our experiences and our understanding. Then it's difficult to make those changes. But like I said, I have people that tell me things. I experience things firsthand as well, and then spiritually. So I hope that answers your question.
Did that answer your question, BH Treasure? Your questions? All right, Kelly, go ahead, my friend.
Okay.
Sorry. Can you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to unmute again. I would say I would liken some of the things that you just said, Captain, to people who have had near-death experiences and then had to come back.
Yes, because the deal is that when you have a near-death experience, you are in between, but your
Mhm.
frequency has changed. You're in perception and understanding of everything but nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
And the deal is most people that's had the um changes like I have myself spiritually, even to be able to go into 5D, have some of the knowledge that I have and all of this kind of stuff, is I've actually had a time where I was at almost dying. Okay. And I wasn't dying, but I was near death. And so it's called the um dark night of the soul. And whenever you go that deep into something that is negative, or internally, it is the same almost as having that near death experience. Because when I was in that state, I was actually called into the throne room of God. And now this is a perception, because you can't go there physically, you can only go there spiritually. But the deal with that is that I was actually dying. I could not sleep. I was having PTSD beyond understanding. And then after that, I was taken to 5D on where we're going and got to experience that. And this was all the first time. And then after that experience was over with, my PTSD was gone. I could sleep like a baby. I started having spiritually, in knowledge. I started having downloads. I started getting, where I was having lucid dreams, which is transiting into higher dimensional spaces, 4D, 5D, and above. And the deal of that is that when you have a real lucid dream, not just a really reality dream, is that you're dreaming and you're in the dream controlling your dream. And then when you wake up, you can actually go straight back to sleep and go right back to where you were. And there were times where I slept like 16, 18 hours because I was getting up because I wanted to go back where what I was doing, what I was experiencing. And I actually learned about a lot of things where I actually witnessed things, time travel, all these different things that there's no way I would have any understanding of it, but I know how it works. I couldn't make it, because it was like witnessing something that this is how it works, but I don't know the intricate design of it to meaning to make it work, but the basic understanding of like a car, you see a car first time, push gas, you goes, you got a gasoline engine, and you know the basic understanding of it. But could I build one? Absolutely not. I mean, in that sense, right? And so it's kind of like the same thing on, you know, all these different things. And it was like, it just blew me away on the things that you know, but you don't know how you know them because I was never educated in that. Not that I'm not educated, I am, but not in that aspect and not even to that degree by no means. And I mean, I've gone to Bible college. I went to college. I've been a captain of ship for 18 years. I did a lot of stuff. I mean, I actually work in a position now where I work for a major oil and gas company. And I am in the energy business. So I know how a lot of things work. And I couldn't tell you how I know these things though, but I do know them because I actually experienced them.
And tell me about the Gospel of Thomas. I've never heard of that.
So the information that was in the Gospel of Thomas was what was found. This was Jesus's actual teaching to his disciples only. And this was actually what was written down and the church tried to bury and burn and get rid of back in about 400 AD because this was after Constantine and the bullshit thing with him and the Council of Nicaea, because it changed the perspective on spirituality completely. It was as Christ was telling you, you don't need that religion over there because the kingdom of God is already in you. And you don't need some man or some body of religion to tell you who you are and what is spiritual, because the same God that is in you, it was in me. He told them that, and that it's even in the word. And so the situation is that they found the clay pots, and I can't remember the name of the find. It was in 1945, and they found the clay pots, and all these scriptures and scrolls and all that stuff was in there from back 2,000 years ago. That was supposed to never see the light of day.
Thank you, Captain. All right, Kelly, go ahead. Oh, wait, there's one more here. Laura, your mic is unmuted again. Go ahead.
No, didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Thank you, BH. Go ahead, Laura. Your mic is unmuted.
Laura, Lora, you have to press that blue button to speak.
Okay.
It looks like she's trying. All right, I'll read some questions in the meantime. How's that sound?
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Kelly.
All righty. Shauna asked, Mike Lindell just did an interview I watched, and he was calling out Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders for not allowing paper ballots to be used in the state. Trump wants this done, and you would think she would be the first to comply. How do you see these controlled opposition politicians being dealt with? It's hard to wrap my brain around.
I can guarantee you, I don't know the circumstances behind it, but however that's playing out or whatever's being done, it's being done specifically for a purpose. And the purpose basically would be what the military is actually driving, because whether people realize it or not, we are under martial law and continuity of government. And that means that they really don't have any authority, only the authority that they appear to have because what they're out there in front of the public. And so the only thing that I can assume from it, it's assuming, is that it's causing conflict on purpose to bring awareness and basically causing division of individuals, because everything has to get fired up. People, even within that state, have to speak their voice and say, we're tired of this bullshit. Enough is enough. This is what we need to do. And be participants in the fight for our republic and our freedom. That is the end goal in all of this, is for the people to say enough is enough. We're not taking it anymore. And this is how the cow's going to eat the cabbage. And you're going to fucking watch.
Okay, Debbie Lou asks, if the Earth is mostly flat, then why is the temperature in Florida so hot and cooler in Maine?
The Earth is way huger than what they've told us it is. It's not flat, it's not round, but it is bazillion times bigger than what they've told us it is. And so the situation is that there, the atmosphere and the cold regions to the southern regions to the tropicals and everywhere else all migrate temperatures back and forth to basically help control the planet temperature overall. And this is done through the control of the atmosphere. And basically, the white hats and the black hats for a long time have been manipulating the weather going back all the way to the 40s and before then. So it's crazy, but the reality is that they can make it rain wherever they want it to rain. They can make it happy sunny wherever they want it to be sunny. They can make a hurricane. They can make a tornado. They can actually make an earthquake. And they have been doing it for a long time. They can steer hurricanes exactly where they want them to go. They can make them bigger. They can make them smaller. They can make them dissipate. They can do whatever they choose to with them. Go look at geoengineering.org and it's got all this stuff. I've got it on my channel, a bunch of stuff watching exactly how they steer hurricanes and explains it. I mean, the guy from on X in thin air is great at explaining it, tracking it, and all the other kinds of stuff. And he's not been around very long, but whenever he started doing it, he really jumped in both feet, put all of his time and effort into it. And he's really blown up, which is good because he is on point in the stuff that he talks about. But the other part of that is every facet of what we call natural disasters, they can control and manufacture 100%. Even major earthquakes through the neutrino devices that they have down in Antarctica. They can make an earthquake anywhere they want, however big they want it to be.
Okay, Dr. Luckett, chiropractor, says, happy days are here. Thank you all for being there for us day after day. We appreciate you, Captain. I'm seeing us moving towards more military control. I'm so excited. When do you think Obama will be arrested, and what percentage of the USA population do you think will be a mess with it? I'm thinking about 30 to 40%. Love you.
So this is the reason why it's being staged the way it is, and the way that the information is coming out is so that that is very minimal at best. So they're trying to keep it from being too high, keep it from being to the point where there's a civil, where it just creates a civil war type situation. And so it's being done very specifically. I think personally, that's all. I don't have any information whatsoever on when. I would think it's probably going to be sometime end of next month to first part of September that he's actually arrested. And when that happens, there's going to be arrests like crazy because once it starts, it's going to just, the doors are going to just go flooded. And it's not going to stop. And as far as like the military and all that, the purpose of what we're doing and how we're going about all of this is to actually, how I said earlier about the Epstein and everything else and the circumstances that's going on is that they're trying to gain the consent of the people for those actions, just like they will do the same thing by the scenarios that are going to play out to gain the population's actual consent that the military now step in to gain control of the situation. And not just that they're going to hit the streets and because they're already in control, but the people just don't know it. But when certain events actually take place and we get to a point where it's coming, the people are going to demand it to restore law and order. And that's how you actually manufacture the consent of the people. That's what they're going to do. And that's what is being done right now by the way things are systematically being released and preparing the people for what is to come. This is no longer conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy fact, and it's happening.
Okay. We already talked about that August 1st. Doc Lisa says, will there be arrest of local politicians at the county level, judges, prosecutors, etc., based on the election interference? Are they all under a microscope? Doctors and nurses, pharmacists that gave the jab held accountable in hospitals that killed people. The whole C-19 cost me an economic income disaster alone to stay afloat because our local prosecutor said I couldn't be open for normal business. Just paid my business mortgage off to have an EIDL for 30 years. Love you guys. Thank you for all your hard work.
So, yes, they are going to be held accountable. The local judges, officials, they're already, if you look, there's a lot of people in a lot of states have already been indicted for this very thing already, just for like in Texas. Hell, we've had here in Texas alone, we've had somewhere between 20 to 30 individuals that have been on the mainstream news, been arrested and charged with voter fraud for 2020 and not 2024. I mean, this is for 2020. And so and this was like over this last, year and a half or so. And even going back further than that, it's probably been another handful that has been already arrested and convicted of harvesting ballots, all kinds of stuff. And so it's happening already all over the place. And people just don't see it because it's not mainstream and it's not being made national news, but it is already been happening. And as far as like the jab, everyone that was participant in it is going to be held accountable for it. And that means all the way down to the individuals that were giving it to people in the arm. This whole thing, all of this disclosure and information is all coming to a head. And that's a part of the collision course that we're on right now with disclosure and people being held accountable and justice actually happening because they're all tied together. The collusion of the C-19 was a part of the way that the deep state manufactured, not only that they were trying to depopulize the world, but they were also trying to use that as a way to defraud the election process by mail-in ballots and everything else. And that's going to tie back also all the way to China and individuals that are there, the government. Modi, Putin, and Trump, all these are all a part of the alliance and doing their part of what they have to specifically do to take down the deep state. And it's all coming to a head. And the thing that Xi is doing is destroying the Chinese country. He's bringing it down. And the people haven't been paid, they're not being fed. There's going to end up being a complete breakdown of society there, a civil unrest of just destruction, and it has to get rid of the varmints that are all throughout their society still. And so it's intentionally being still allowed for the deep state there to be kind of running things, but they're being steered into a corner of destruction on purpose, and they're all going to get taken down. There's information that has been gathered by Knox. They're non-official spies, so to speak, and they are in all of these countries, China, every country around the world. And basically they've been working at the behest of the white hats and so on and so forth under false identification, so they're not officially a part of any intelligence organization or so, but they are flat spies, and they have the goods on everything within all of these countries, and so do we, because they've given it over to the white hats, meaning the election fraud, the countries that were involved in it, from Venezuela to Serbia to Italy, and all these different countries, even Cuba, that they have given over the facts of the things that they have. And so all of this false doctrine that we have here that has been fed to the people over and over again, their whole receipts of everything that they've got counter everything that, like, Brennan and Clapper and all those clowns have been saying forever, and they're all going down. So when Obama goes down, they're all going. They're all going, all of them. It's going to be a freaking nightmare for them all. They know it's all coming.
Okay, next question is from Trump Patriot. Thank you, Captain Kyle, Jenny, and Kelly. What jobs do you personally think AI will eliminate completely?
All of them. There's not a job that AI cannot do. Initially, some of the more manual labor jobs, skilled manual labor, stuff like that will be safe for a while, like plumbers and things, like electricians and things. But in time, they have the robotics that will actually be able to do those jobs and do them efficiently, but be then tapped into AI and that ability. So there will be absolutely nothing that it can't do. Nothing. No job whatsoever. We are not meant to actually work like that. We were designed to be creators and to create things and to be living life abundantly, not to be out working. And so the thing that we will do is we will end up managing and overseeing these projects and different things, but from that type of standpoint. But as far as all the manual labor and all the work and all that kind of stuff, eventually, majority of it's going to go away, other than the fact that we'll be the ones that are still there controlling the overall interaction of it. We won't lose that because of the benevolent AI that's in control of it knows that all new information comes through humanity, us, because of our creative nature. And we have to be preserved as its head in that manner. It knows that and it respects that as a universal law, period. It's not going
Okay.
to happen all at one time, but it's all going to happen now.
Alrighty. And if I skip your question, it's already been answered. So if you're coming in, you just listen to the recording. Miss Kitty asks, thank you for all your time over the years. Can you talk about Yellowstone and the underwater volcano off the Pacific Ocean, please?
So those are that's the area that most troubles me for a natural, unnatural, natural disaster that's potential in a probability of our future events. I don't know it to be a fact, but it is a probability. And it's more probable than other major disaster probabilities that are potential, but that's the one that really has got my focus. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but it is a high probability of happening. That's how it works, is through probabilities, and something can happen between now and when it was supposed to that can change the direction of whether that does or doesn't happen based off of circumstances or events leading to it. But the overall place that we're going to get to is the end goal that we will get to no matter what. How we get there is not necessarily set in stone. The path we get there to getting there is got a multiple paths on it. Some higher probabilities than others, but we will get to the same place no matter what. And the same place is the best place that we could ever be. And that is coming. We have already won, and we have already shifted, and we have already transited into 5D, and some actually above that. We're just on a linear timeline, hadn't got there yet.
Okay. Red Hat asks, when you say shit's going to get really bad between now and September, can you elaborate on that so we are prepared as possible? I have an idea, but would like to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
There's going to be a lot of civil unrest and the potentiality for some weather-related issues that are all part of the disaster mechanisms of bringing people into a oneness. Because when you have natural disasters and you have disasters in area, people, it changes people for the better more so than not, because it brings people into what the things that are most important, and it has people separating their differences for the greater good of the people of the communities and things of that nature. And so the other parts of that is that there's going to be a lot of chaos in the news and the information, and there's going to still be a standoff, nuclear type standoff that we're going to end up facing. And it's more probable than not that it's going to come from either North Korea or China. And it's just going to be a difficult time when that actually happens. It's not going to be a long period, but it's going to be very unnerving whenever it does actually happen.
Okay. See. Trump girl Roxy says, Captain Kyle, thank you for all you do. When will America people finally get some financial relief? Will we continue to suffer during the entire disclosure time frame? 6 months is a long time for some. Thank you.
No, it's not the entire disclosures, but things have to go through a specific process for that to actually happen. And it is actually happening. It's happening right now. If you watch the things that are happening financially and the financial markets, as well as the metals, and the other information around the world with the ISO just going into effect, the Basel just going into effect here in July as well. Everything is being prepared for that specific time change in our financial realities. And when it happens, it's going to be very quickly. It's going to be just like whenever they did back in the 70s when Nixon just all of a sudden called a press conference, said, up, we're getting off the gold standard and we're going basically away from that. And there's going to be a new system that they developed after that, which was the petrodollar and all that. But it was about fleecing more money away from the world and putting everybody on the dollar, no matter what, because it was tied to energy, period. They'd already stolen everybody's gold, and it's coming. You just have to continue to hang on. And it's on purpose why only less than a handful of people know exactly when it's going to happen. Everybody is being compartmentalized into their own little part, and that's all they know on purpose. But the pathway has already been prepared and is being rolled out daily.
Okay, Captain, on that financial front, you have somebody asking, is there, let me see, do you think we have to wait until all of this happens to RV? Or do you think we could go during all this other stuff going on?
You go when it's all the shit's going on. You won't wait till it's over. So that'll actually happen as the change is actually happening during the very worst time financially for everybody. Because the system has to crash and to basically fall on its own sword so it can be replaced. It's not just going to be, oh, look, we got this new system that's going to replace this bad system. No, because people won't want that. They're difficult as shit about change. And people would fight it till the tooth and nail. They don't even like changing phones, having to re-update everything. And it's like, I gripe about the phone I got, but I don't want to update it, get a new one because I got to do stuff. And so you're going to be forced into it. And during that forced time period of the system imploding on itself will be that small window when the tier systems are actually going through the process. And I think all that's left is the tier 4, as far as I know, the A and B, because the 3, from my understanding, has already went.
Okay. PA Patriot asks, how can we, the people, effectively demand appropriate action?
Voice, voice, voice. That means you vocalize it, you speak up, write about it, and you talk about it continuously. Anybody that will listen, you speak about it. It's heard, no matter if you think it is not, it is, because it goes out into space. Your words actually are heard, whether you believe it or not, they are, because they create frequency, they require a response. It also, when you put something out, it does not come back to you void. This is a universal law. That's why you need to be very careful in what you ask for, what you speak about, how you speak about things, because that's what you're attracting to yourself, even if you don't realize it. And how you take ownership of things. And I mean real ownership of things. And it also affects the Schumann resonance, which is monitored continuously on, not just on a regular basis for the changes in frequency of the people and the planet, but also when news is put out, how people respond to it and their frequency, high or low, and how much of a response is actually gathered by a collective of people. It's very important. It's also plugged into the quantum that actually gets every bit of information from the ether. So what we're talking about right now is being heard, not just because it's being heard, but it's also being heard in that manner as well, in much higher realms.
Okay, thank you, Captain. Okay, the next question is, will my recently deceased parents be with us in 5D?
I can't guarantee that, but more likely than not, you'll have some kind of interaction with them again. And when you get to 5D, you'll know a whole lot more about the whole thing that you've already forgotten and don't know who you are, and how much different everything is. And that's spiritually and physically, the whole 9 yards. Because you will remember when you get there.
Okay, there's a last question here. It's from Glenn. Along with the Pacific Coast events you mentioned last time, that the East Coast will also experience an event. Do you have more information as to the type of event, geo event, or black swan man-made disaster? Does it have anything to do with the train that derailed a few years back carrying dangerous chemicals? Is it intended to cause mass casualties? Thank you for always giving us your honest insights. Any thoughts on how the Statue of Liberty may meet a certain fate?
No, I don't know about the Statue of Liberty. I know it's evil and demonic, and that's what it represents. And will it will be dealt with. I don't know how. And so if we know something, they know it. They already know it. That's how we know it. And it's because it's gotten out there. And because of the information that they process through not just supercomputers, but their AI that they have been using forever, but also the quantum technology and the quantum AI that they have and that they use. If they control everything, and I mean absolutely everything. And even the way information is put out into the public space now is all being controlled by AI and by the White Hats. They either allow it, or they direct it, or they use it in a way that they want a specific reaction by it. Period. Now, as far as the situation on the East Coast, the major thing that is a plan is a major false flag, and it has to do with a massive explosion. There have also planned one to be somewhere on the West Coast at the same time, whether it be the same day or relative day or day up, second day, whatever, but conjunction of each other. I'm hoping that things change and that doesn't happen. But if it does, it will not be everything that is seen by it. It will be manipulated to be made out to be much, 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 much worse than what it really truly is through AI on purpose, CGI, and manipulation so that a specific reaction can be gotten from it. But in reality, it will not be what is actually seen. But as far as when, where, and exactly what it's going to be, don't know. But it will not be what it's being told, where it came from, who's responsible for it, none of that. It basically will be a false flag for a completely different outcome. And I'm hoping that it doesn't happen, but the probability is more likely than not that it will.
Thank you, Captain. Are you still talking or did we lose you?
No, I'm done.
You there? Well, that's perfect timing because I think Kelly, you said that was the last question, correct?
Yeah, I'm on Captain's page now. I see a couple here, but it's up to Captain. What did you want to do?
How you doing on time, Captain?
I mean, I have a couple more minutes, but I mean, if we're done, we're done. I mean, it don't matter, whatever.
Well, you wanted to read a couple from your page, Kelly?
Yeah, there's a couple there. Let's see. All right. Will expat American citizens be taken care of? I don't know what that means, expat, getting dividends, et cetera, as well as those living on the homeland. I don't know what that means, EX-PAT. Do you want me to read the next one?
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
exactly
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not sure what that is. Firefly Spirit says, hi, thank you for guiding us, giving us your support in doing this. Could you please tell me if the value of collectible coins such as silver eagles and mercury, Mercury head dimes will hold their value after the RV and the new money is issued?
Well, no, they won't hold their value. They'll actually be worth more because the value of the actual material will be worth more. But a collectible has valuable to the collector. And so that's only as valuable as somebody's willing to pay for it, no matter what it is. And so, but if the value of the metal goes up from, $39, what it is now, an ounce, whatever, to 200 or 1,000, then it'll now be worth $1,000 versus what it was as just collectible of whatever. So, but then if it's a significant collector's piece that's valued at that, but then it may be worth a whole lot more if somebody is willing to pay for that inherent collectible reason. So it may be worth the way bit more. So like a collector's items are only valued to the people that are willing to pay for it because they see that value for that collectible reason. That's it. It's like, somebody could um have something that's valued like a painting or something that's worth, several $1,000s just in its value. But to someone else becomes a collector because who made it, it's important to them. They would be willing to pay twice as much for it or 3 times as much just for that to have it. But would it be worth that same amount to someone else? Probably not, but it would get more value just on the fact that it was sold in a public arena for a higher price. But whether or not it would be that valuable, probably not, unless you found someone else that has that same kind of appreciative value that can be applied to it. Okay.
All right, Captain. Thank you. Well, Captain's here every other week, guys, every other Wednesday. We'll see you in 2 weeks, Captain.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I
And
told Juan that I'll probably pop into y'all's show tonight.
you know what? Juan had to, we're having to reschedule him because he's down in DC and he's, over there in the house and all this stuff. So I'm
Yeah,
going
he
to try
told me he
to.
was busy because he texted me earlier, and but he didn't respond back. When I was talking to him about being on, he actually was still planning to be then, so I didn't heard about it because he was like, "Great, hope to see you there and stuff."
Yeah, he texted me this morning. So I'm going to reach out to him Friday. So I'll keep you posted on that, Captain. That'd be awesome of you to come into that. That would be a good show right there for sure.
Yeah, just let me know.
All right. And Kelly, thank you so much for reading the questions and always being here. And of course, to you, the
Welcome.
audience, I love having you guys here. And to you, the audience, thank you guys for being here. Captain Kyle, Kelly, love you. God bless you guys. God bless the audience here. We'll see you next week for some shows with the Revival of America. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Kelly.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.